This is gonna be hard for whitewashers, white people, and coons to understand that album sales do not make you a GOAT. How Eminem is a GOAT of African American poetry because the album sales means nothing. Album sales are just album sales, they can't be fabricated. Hip hop is a culture and the art movement created by African Americans. Latinos had no help in creating hip hop and stopped grandfather clause in them into hip hop because disrespectful. Rap include content, what is being said, or theme, flow, rhythm and rhyme, and delivery, cadence and tone. Grill Tristan connect to rap along a lens of black verbiage, reverence that goes back to ancient Egypt. It's really ancient Kemet because Kemet came before Egypt, before it renamed Egypt. And then it's all about hip hop fashion, which is African American creating wearing loose fitting jeans, baggy jeans. He mixing in certain traditional African elements such as dashikis, kufis, beatboxing, beat making, breakdancing, MCing. Because rappers did not exist back then. They were called MC. You could move the crowd, get them hyped up and everything. They're a graffiti writer. They're graffiti writing, graffiti art. Eminem does not embody any of this. He is a cultural vulture. He just like Katy Perry, Riff Raff, Miley Cyrus, Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber, Bruno Mars. A long list of Asian so-called rappers was I don't know why they're there, but they're there too. Some Latinos too. Nothing connect Latino Americans, Asians, or Europeans or white people in America to hip hop. They are not connected to it. It brings up the fact that Eminem is jumping on Lord Jamar, who is defending hip hop, and Royce da 5'9", who is Eminem's biggest house Negro, is protecting him for some reason. You see that he been taking, they say he been quiet because Lord Jamar has been defending him. But like I said, I'll clearly go to DJ Blab was says he know nothing about hip hop. He just like anybody else. You look at he's a white guy who blogs about black music and then get a lot of black people on his show. He don't never get nobody white on there. That's why I keep telling people, why y'all keep talking about all lives matters, white lives this, white lives that. I mean, every time you turn around, y'all always got black people on your show. He's a white guy. Don't you think he'd be more concerned with white culture, the opioids, all these molestations going on, the white business practices? A lot of come out about the Catholic priests lately. None of it is bothering him. He's more concerned about this so-called feud right here because Eminem mad because black people won't accept him in something that is a black culture. Lord Jamar continues to insult Eminem in nearly every live TV interview he does. But shady Laurel competitor Royce da 5'9" eventually had enough and went on a nearly 10-minute rant about what he believes in. Lord Jamar, blah, blah. Lyrics, yeah, he's maybe alright lyricist, but beyond lyricist, there's more than that. I just named everything to make it hip hop, and also a cultural identity. Being black, that's a big part of hip hop. And look at that. Rap legend because he has a problem with white people saying Eminem is the GOAT due to his atmospheric, because his albums. I keep telling people this does not make you a GOAT. Eminem has not mastered being black because he's not a black guy. He can't be black because he's not black. Okay, like I said, there was hip hop fashion, which is part of the identity. There was beatboxing, breakdancing, beat making, MCing, DJing, graffiti writing. There's a lot that goes into that. Hip hop is a culture. Hip hop is basically a culture. If all black people have a shared culture, a culture that unify all black people, it would be hip hop. That what hip hop started out being. Since they started letting all these non-black people in here, like people like Royce da 5'9", these bleeding hearts for non-black people because they want from social currency, which is intangibles and garbage. Social currency would be that kid who want to be around the popular people that want to be seen. Movies like Can't Buy Me Love with Nick Cannon and all the movies and Mean Girls, all those movies you seen with kids in it wanting to be part of the in crowd, that's to be seen, that's to be popular, that's social currency. And for black people like Worship 59, social currency is basically saying that I want to be around white people, and I think white people should be praised above all others, and we should put white people in our culture. Now, remind you, that's how Egypt got conquered. That's how Kemet got conquered and changed to Egypt because they let all the white people, they let all non-black people in there. They started putting non-black people on the pedestal, and there's a book by a black guy who wrote and says how Egypt fell. That's how, well, Kemet, well, y'all gonna want to know what I mean by Kemet. Kemet is Egypt. So I'm gonna say Egypt for this point on, but it's really called, in reality, it's really called Kemet. It's called Egypt now because it's conquered. Anyway, well, back to what I was saying is that that's the problem. You let non people in for your group, you get conquered. This is what happened. You can't praise somebody who's not your own people. That makes no sense to worship these people. See, that's what I mean. This is all about him praising a white guy. For what? Because, yeah, he said himself, white people call him GOAT. How can white people call somebody the GOAT of somebody else's culture? And in the greatest of all times, that's just an acronym black people start saying, from what I understand. It was cool they needed an album out for it. Before that, some other black people saying it. This is what his problem is. White people are saying he is a GOAT because he can't be the GOAT in white culture because white people now accept him in white culture because he was a nerd. Y'all wouldn't know this, but he was pretty much a nerdy white kid in high school. He was nerd, white, and nerdy. His problem is he won't be praised by black people. As you can see, white people don't want to count hype because white people want to take over our culture. They want to take over hip hop because they did not create nothing that's a cultural phenomenon. Pop culture is pretty much a dead culture. There's nothing right now that white people have. And then, like I just did a video on the Little Mermaid and how Asians don't want black people playing Little Mermaid. It's like I could do so many reports on how so many people don't want black people to have anything, but when it comes to other people's culture, they get to have something. Stay out of black people culture. You don't understand and don't want to understand. Eminem's not go. Album sales mean nothing. He didn't master anything. People that actually are MCs, Eminem's just a rapper. He's not an MC. You got Papoose, who's good. There's Rakim. There's Nas. Cannabis is amazing at rapping. He's good too. All the good MCs are underground because they put the rappers up front. And the rappers that joke, they all commercial. And remember, Eminem, he was arguing with a little girl on stage. Which I think that was just stage to give him more publicity. That's all it is. And his whole thing was he's a white rapper. That's all he latched on to. They didn't latch on his skills. Oh, he's a white rapper. Oh, 8 Mile was good. Only y'all keep paying attention to them about. All those lyrics were staged. It made the black people in 8 Mile look like they can't rap. They had a group called Free World. When he said F the Free World, 313. Yeah, because black people want to be free from all the troubles of racism and illism and clean up their own community. So they like pretty much saying F black people freedom. And in the movie, what did he do? He made fun of, he had Anthony Mackie play somebody called Papa Doc, who was a Haitian genocide maniac. There's nobody in their right mind would adopt that name. Then he disrespected the guy who could Clarence Through Home with two. He disrespected black people on a whole massive level in that movie 8 Mile. His real name is Clarence. I went to school with a lot of black guys named Clarence. They were pretty much from tough guys. They was no slouch, knowledgeable, and well spoken too. So I don't know what he's talking about Clarence. He's talking about and Clarence's parents got a real good marriage. So he trying to say that black kids who have parents who stay home, both parents, they have good marriage, something black people trying to push for years for us to do. That's wrong and should never be accepted, and that's not real. And you should not be doing rapping and battle rapping if your parents are home. You're home with two parents and you're black. I can tell that movie got from undertone racism towards black people. And all of them came out of Eminem's mouth. And remember, he wrote it and produced that movie. Then, you know what? He went to Cranbrook. That's a private school. So black people can't go to private school and be successful? That's what I didn't get. Remember, this came out of that guy's mouth in that so-called battle rap that was garbage. This guy right here seems like he had a problem with black men who are good in school. It's like he reminded me of one of them kids who was bullied in school, and then as soon as they get out of high school, wherever, they try to act tough, or they go off to college, they try to act all big and bad. That's who he reminds me of. One of them kids who never stood up for himself and all the way up to all the way from middle school up to high school. Everybody went through it. Some people had to stand up for themselves. So him just being successful, going away from it. And remember, he couldn't even hack it as a pizza delivery guy. I remember watching on MTV. He couldn't hack it as a pizza delivery guy. This guy whole thing of trying to reinvent himself. And I do agree with the brother, Chris Miller, when he said that, Eminem reminds him of that, that a lot of black guys feel like they feel bad for the whole Vanilla Ice incident. I don't. They still threw his ball off the roof. It's like black men, they don't like standing up for nothing, but they love falling for everything. Good female MCs at the time too. Roxanne, she's the first African American woman to become first female MC of all. MC Light, the Brat. What was it? There's Remy Ma's good too. Queen Latifah back in the day could flow. Curtis Blow, he could flow too, man. Come on, they're the first major guy get signed to a contract. There's NPMD, Cam Lowe, y'all may not know them, but they was good too. They're great MC, good lyricists. There's so many good lyricists out there that are black, but they all get pushed to the wayside because they try to push white and Asian people ahead of black people in our own culture. And like I said before, rap is our literature. That's our poetry style. There are themes to those. He does not embody those, so he's not a GOAT. He don't have the African American experience to rap. Remember, this guy took shots at a freaking puppet. Somebody who had their hands shoved up a sock telling jokes, and he got mad about that. You gotta get mad you say anything about him because he was never probably in crowd, so he gets mad because he won't be accepted so bad. That's his real issues right there. We do not have to accept him. Anytime he's a rap god. Why would every non-black person try to be a god to black people? You don't need this guy to be our god. This guy needs to grow up. Find him something to do. I don't know why all these non-black people come in our culture and black people stop letting them in here. Just another Elvis, another Vanilla Ice, another culture vulture that's coming up in here, swooping up and sucking up all our talent and air that we should be using to elevate our own people and ourselves. So many good MCs out here, they get pushed to the wayside, all because black people want a white savior. Oh yeah, I can't forget about Rah Digga, who's also another female MC that is also good. Oh yeah, Heavy D, he was another MC who passed away. Oh yeah, Heavy D, he was also good too. He would also be considered MC because he was pretty good too. Also, Heavy D, can't forget about him. Hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell for you know when new videos are being uploaded, and also hit that like button.